Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're skipping the fluff and diving straight into the hard financial data of the Rajasthan Textile and Apparel Policy 2025. This policy is engineered to attract over 10,000 crore rupees in investments. Listen, if you're an executive or an investor in the textile space, the financial matrix we're about to unpack is absolutely going to dictate your expansion strategy. This policy hits its goals through a highly structured, highly lucrative system of capital subsidies, turnover incentives, and operational exemptions. So let's get right to the numbers.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Capital Subsidies and Investment Categories. This is your core financial matrix. Before we even look at operational savings or top-ups, we really have to understand the foundational capital subsidy that the Rajasthan government is putting on the table just to get you to build or expand your facilities. Honestly, this matrix is one of the biggest magnets for businesses looking at the state right now. The capital subsidy scales aggressively based entirely on just two factors: the size of your unit, which they categorize as large, mega, or ultra-mega, and your chosen geographic area, simply categorized as Area 1, 2, or 3. So, if you're a large unit in Area Category 1, your subsidy starts at 13%. But watch how it scales. A mega unit in Area 2 jumps to 20%. And if you're an ultra-mega unit setting up in Area Category 3, you are looking at a massive 28% capital subsidy. The policy actively rewards both scale and smart location strategy. Now, you might be wondering, 28% of what exactly? Well, that brings us to EFCI, or Eligible Fixed Capital Investment. It is absolutely vital to clarify what those percentages actually apply to, because this asset baseline is the entire foundation of your potential ROI. Under this policy, your EFCI includes your core tangible assets, land, building, and machinery. So when we talk about a 20% or 28% subsidy, we're talking about a direct reimbursement percentage on the heavy upfront capital it takes to get a modern textile and apparel facility off the ground.
But how does that money actually hit your balance sheet? The government obviously isn't handing over a single giant lump sum on day one. Instead, these incentives are dispersed in equal installments over a period of 10 solid years. However, and this is a big however, these disbursements are bounded by massive annual caps. Specifically, between 50 and 80 crore rupees annually, depending on your unit size and the specific year of disbursement. This is huge because it provides a highly predictable, long-term injection of capital back into your business over a full decade.
Moving right along to Section 2, Turnover Incentives and Top-Up Boosters. Let's look at scaling your baseline subsidy. We've established the baseline capital subsidies based on your physical investment. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these three specific boosters can dramatically compound your financial return. These are your top-ups. First up, the employment booster. This gives you up to 15% in additional incentives for being a large job creator, which aligns perfectly with the state's goal of creating over 2 lakh employment opportunities. Second, the Anchor Booster offers 20% more if you're setting up in underserved areas. And finally, just look at that third bar, an astonishing 50% for green solutions. We really need to emphasize that last point because it is a massive structural advantage. The policy offers a 50% reimbursement specifically for eco-friendly technologies. That is a uniquely high subsidy for this sector, and it clearly demonstrates the government's heavy financial push for water-saving and pollution-free manufacturing. Think about it. If you're integrating sustainable tech into your production, which we all know is often extremely capital-intensive, the state is literally willing to cover half of that specific cost. No way you can ignore that.
Now, it's really important to conceptually distinguish between the two main categories of benefits you're stacking here. On one side, you have asset creation incentives. These are the fixed, capital-based subsidies we just discussed, based purely on your upfront infrastructure. In stark contrast to that, the policy also offers turnover-linked incentives, which are highly dynamic and based on your ongoing net sales. Basically, you aren't just rewarded for building a facility, you're consistently rewarded for actively producing and selling from it.
All right, Section 3, Duty Waivers and Financial Exemptions. Let's look at operational cost reductions.
Let's shift our focus from capital investment to the immediate day-to-day operational cost reductions provided by this policy. These exemptions are going to fundamentally alter your operating margins from the very moment you flip the switch on production. Check out this immediate impact. A 100% electricity duty waiver. For a highly power-intensive industry like textiles, this is just staggering. And the best part? This isn't some short-term introductory offer. This 100% waiver lasts for an impressive 7 years. Seriously, think about how completely erasing electricity duty for 7 years changes the calculus of your unit economics. Let's move quickly to the next major operational saving, up to a 75% exemption on stamp duty. We all know land acquisition and facility establishment carry incredibly heavy administrative costs. By waiving 3/4 of the stamp duty, the policy dramatically lowers the frictional costs of just acquiring the real estate you need for your mega or ultra-mega units.
Next up, we have a 25% freight reimbursement. This one is specifically targeted at boosting the margins of export operations. Getting goods from a landlocked state like Rajasthan to ports or global markets is, understandably, a primary operational expense. By reimbursing 1/4 of those freight costs, the policy essentially neutralizes geographical barriers and makes Rajasthan-produced textiles significantly more competitive on the global stage.
Beyond physical logistics and power, there's also direct financial support for your workforce. The policy includes a skilled training subsidy of up to 1 lakh rupees per employee. This directly subsidizes your capacity building and training costs. It ensures you have a highly skilled workforce ready to operate modern machinery, while simultaneously aiding the state's employment generation goals, particularly for women and marginalized communities.
Finally, Section 4, maximizing your overall subsidy ROI, strategic execution and compliance.
Okay, so we've looked at the baseline capital, the top-ups, and the daily operational waivers. So the crucial point is the absolute cap, 125%. With careful stacking of your base categories, your turnover incentives, and top-ups like the green or anchor boosters, your total incentives can cap at a staggering 125% of your eligible investment. The government is essentially offering to return more than your initial fixed capital investment over time, provided you structure your project perfectly. It's an extraordinary level of financial support, for sure.
But actually getting your hands on that 125%, that is an administrative marathon. You absolutely have to execute properly. Step 1, you need to navigate the application and approval process with speed and precision. Step 2, ensure your detailed project report, your DPR, is perfectly aligned with Project Approval Committee expectations. Step 3, strategically bundle those top-ups to push your limits as high as humanly possible. And Step 4, which is arguably the most critical, you must maintain rigorous, ongoing compliance to avoid sudden disqualifications or financial clawbacks over that entire 10-year disbursement period.
The Rajasthan Textile and Apparel Policy 2025 is a rare structural opportunity to scale your business with massive government-backed incentives. The math is undeniably aggressive, but as we just saw, it requires absolute precision to execute. So as you look at your own capital allocation for the coming years, you really have to ask yourself a hard question. Is your current expansion strategy leaving 125% government money on the table? Thank you for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this breakdown of the financial metrics empowers your next major business decision. Catch you